Connect. Hello, Shayonti.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. I'm very happy that today, we can join immediately on time. Very, very organized. I like that.
Yes, it's going to be interesting. It's my first time.
Excellent. It's my second time, so well, almost. So it's going to be fun. So let me just do a proper introduction. Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a series of interviews, and now much more from the think tank AlterContacts. We are a United Nations registered non-profit initiative and also an acceleration action towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And today I'm very happy because my guest is Shayonti Chatterji, the founder of Urban Medley, which is a sustainable fashion brand. And I'm sure she'll tell a little bit more about that. But before she does, a quick introduction. So we started the Lockdown Economy in June, well, end of May. And in June, we recorded an interview with Shayonti where she told us the story of the business being founded just in January before the lockdown happened. And I remember last time, Shayonti, we spoke about your suppliers in India, the artisans that you felt responsible for. We spoke about being relevant to your customers and finding new ways to approach them, to be useful to them. So I'm really curious what happened in those 2 months. So let's just start maybe with a small introduction of your brand.
Well, yes, it was a very, very strange timing when we launched. As we had discussed before, we literally launched at the eve of coronavirus. So it was extremely challenging. And as far as the brand is concerned, we are trying to curate products made by artisans, mainly out of India, for now at least, who are working only with sustainable fabrics and who are following a sustainable, ethical mode of production. In addition to this, the products represent weaving and printing techniques which are like centuries old, and thanks to the young designers we are working with, these old world techniques are now given a global appeal. So we really have two aspects to the business. One is we are working with sustainable fabrics and sustainable methods of production. But more than that, we are sort of promoting the artisans whose art and crafting technology we feel would have been literally lost to the world if it is not promoted and supported by consumers. So that is very brief about the brand and what we are trying to do. Yeah.
That's a very noble mission, and I'm hoping that with this live stream and with this videos, we're reaching a lot of new audience for you as well, who can listen the story of the brand and why you're doing this, and maybe they will go to the website and look at the scarves and accessories that you offer. But one of the things you mentioned last time is that the practices that those artisans are using are sustainable by nature because they've been sustainable. They've been like that from the beginning, and they just continue on those good practices. So what happened in this last 2 months? Lockdown has been lifted in Amsterdam. You're based here in the Netherlands. Have you managed to reach out to your customers? What happened?
Well, even during the lockdown, though, of course, the sales were very low, and especially because we were just a new brand, we tried to stay relevant to the consumers, or let us say, stay in front of their eyes, whether it is through social media, whether it is through blog post, in whichever way possible we could, so that we were alive and we were able to seek and reach out to the consumers or people we feel are our prospect clients. So that is how the lockdown period went. And it was very encouraging because there was a lot of traction. Probably people had more time in their hands, so they had more time on social media, etc. And we had a lot of interaction, which was very encouraging because it was like sort of validating our entire business concept of the products. Because, when people were asking us questions, they were appreciating the product, the work we are doing. So that was very encouraging. However, after lockdown, I would say that we are slowly reaching out and slowly converting, though it is not that we are seeing a huge spike in sales. And it is good to note here that, because our product is not a necessary item, it's not an essential good. Hence, I think it will take time for the sales to pick up, because it is not something people really must have or must buy. And the fact that everything is getting more and more confined to homes, or let us say in working remotely, or not as much of socialization, events, parties, etc., or let us say even that people are not going to the theaters or clubs or whatever, I think that is impacting our sales, because obviously people are now more concerned as to what will the future bring, what will happen. So they're not really in a mindset to buy luxury or fashion items. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all have very few opportunities where to wear them. And you mentioned that this was your first live stream, and you also said that, during the lockdown, you tried a lot of different ways to stay in the face of your customers, to be noticeable. What maybe specific methods you used for that? If it wasn't the Instagram live stream, what else was that?
Well, I have to say, honestly, I feel very reluctant to sort of show my face. I want the products and the things to do the talking. So I think that is one of the reasons why I didn't go for a live stream. But my tool was mainly social media, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. And I think that worked very well, because my goal during these 2 months was more like to get the message out, to get the information out. So I was not really looking at sales, because somewhere in the back of my mind, I felt that, okay, we have to wait with the sales. We have to first reach the people, as they say. I have to try and engage. So I think what really worked is I wrote on various forums about my work, about myself, about the product, how we make it, or what we do, people who I'm working with, people whom we are acquiring the products from, and of course bring the product in front of the consumers, so as to let them see, let them get a feel of what it is, let them try and understand the story behind it. So that did work. Yes, I didn't do live stream of Instagram, but I was very much engaged on Instagram. I was engaged, but as I said, I was trying to engage with the products, and Facebook and LinkedIn. And I would say that change, and I think this is very important, because I changed the style of communication depending on which platform I'm in, and I think that did give a lot of traction. That definitely gave a lot of traction, because in each platform you have different kinds of people, and you have to have the tone and voice to engage with the audience. So that was mainly what I was doing to get the message out.
Yeah, absolutely. The right tone on the right channel is a very important detail, and I think in the haste of the moment, we often miss out on that and just copy paste the message across different channels. I think we're a bit guilty of that. But you mentioned that you tried to engage with the consumer, and you said what you did on those different platforms. But what was the response of the potential customers? What was the response of the community, of the conscious community?
I think not I think, let me rephrase myself. The response was very positive, because what I noticed during the lockdown period was that small to medium-sized businesses, as if they were feeling this tremendous urge to help one another. So, whether it was a like, whether it was a repost, or whether it was a share, or whether it was a comment, as if there was some kind of an inert feeling that everybody was feeling the pain. And so they were trying to sort of, this camaraderie between the SMEs. So it could be small to medium-sized businesses, it could be conscious consumers. So, this entire entire group of people out there as if they were trying to help one another. So for example, I got into various Instagram and other groups where, you have a lot of sustainable people who are conscious about sustainability, people who are working again with sustainable fabrics or sustainable products. They were as if trying to help each other. So it's even I found myself doing that, because you felt, oh my God, we are all in it together. Yes, the sales are sluggish, we are not able to do, so let's try to sort of help each other and multiply the voice. So I think the response was very encouraging and very supportive, and I was lucky to even sort of build certain communities, people I wouldn't have probably connected with earlier. And I think that was a wonderful feeling, as if I could sort of open my heart out to them. Hey guys, I need some support, I need some shares, I need some, and everybody was very, very enthusiastic about it, as if, it's like everybody's trying to sort of uh, give a helping hand to the other, and that was really an amazing feeling. And you know how it is on social, you're just connecting with people from all over the world. So yes, I'm based in Amsterdam, and here I was talking to somebody from South Africa, somebody from a country in somewhere in Asia, and we were all sharing notes, telling each other what we are doing. I think it was really a brilliant learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about how SMEs all joined and help each other. And it is truly inspirational to see that. And I think with our project within economy, we are also trying to bring that feeling even beyond the lockdown in Europe, let's say. But do you feel the same way in this last 2 months? So, I think the helping hand, you refer mostly to the lockdown time. And in the last 2 months, a lot of people were let out of their houses. So there was less screen time, more holidays, more vacations. So what was the change?
Yes, it is definitely slowing down, because it's almost all of a sudden like there's a breath of fresh air, though I don't know how fresh the air is. It is as if people at last has a chance to go out. Yes, as you rightly said, some people are taking short vacations, or going back to work. But as I said, I also, at the same time, in spite of all the help and support that one is seeing around, one feels that everybody has this kind of a fear, I would say, or a concern of what is going to happen in the future. So, that again brings us back to the question of if people are ready to spend. I mean, there is one group of people who are saying, hey, you know what, I didn't have a vacation, I didn't go out, so I'm going to spend some money. Whereas you have the other group who are pretty much uncertain as to what may happen, how the job scenario is going to be, whether there are going to be layoffs, whether the economy is going to slow down. So people are apprehensive about making purchases. So I think it's a mixed atmosphere. So in one hand, you have these apprehensions and worries, and the other hand, there are people who are saying, you know what, enough is enough. I want to go out and have a good time. So it's really I think we are all learning. It's a bit of an odd time. None of us were prepared to handle this, I would say.
Absolutely, yes. We are all learning as we go, and this is why it's really, really valuable that you're sharing your insights with us. And in the first talk we had, you mentioned a lot about the suppliers that you have in India, and I think the situation with supply chain changed. But since there were no sales, so what is the status there now? Do you still purchase? Do they still depend on you, or how does it work?
Yeah, of course they depend. But the problem is that I can say for myself, because, for example, since I'm working with India, we are having a major issue getting the products out of India, because there are a lot of restrictions in flights, a lot of restrictions otherwise. So yes, things are sluggish, and that is definitely the bad side of it, because unless we get back on track, unless we start selling, we cannot sort of source more products. And it's a vicious cycle. If we can't source more products, then the people back there, they don't have the job, they don't have the earnings. So yes, there are still difficulties, and as you know, everywhere we are again seeing this spike once again of the coronavirus. So yes, we are trying to sort of make it look normal and says, not, we can't do anything about it, we have to live with it. Yes, but still people are scared. So unless the economy really picks up, unless people are ready to spend money, let us say, it will be difficult. It will be difficult to support these artisans, and especially for smaller businesses like us, because we don't have too much of a cushion that we can keep buying unless we are selling. So it's a difficult balancing act. It's a very difficult balancing act. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wonder if there's anyone helping you on that journey. So from the governmental side, subsidies, or maybe somebody on the Indian side helping those artisans. Is there any support that is given to the small business and those artisans?
Well, as far as Netherlands is concerned, there is no specific support given to small businesses, because even the bank loans, etc., yes, the terms are slightly easier, but the hurdles are huge. I mean, by the time you have your perfect business plan ready, by the time you pitch it to the banks, by the time the bank approves it, if it does. So I think there is no conscious sort of attempt made to help SMEs. I would say, as far as Netherlands is concerned. As regards the artisans back in India, unfortunately, no, there is nothing. There is no safety net around them. So unless brands and businesses are ready to buy the products, irrespective of whether they're making sales, there is no social net available for these people. And that is really a very, very frightening situation, because some of them are just moving away. They're trying to sort of earn whatever wages they can, and they're pulling the children out of schools, and various other things. You are getting to hear real horror stories coming out of I would say, for India. I do not know about other countries what is happening, but definitely in case of India, the condition is very, very dire, very dire. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Also, according to the United Nations reports, the most vulnerable artists by the pandemic, and it continues to be such. And not to go into conspiracy theories, but there is certain conversations about the second wave of lockdown. I mean, the regulations are already stricter than they were, let's say, a month ago. I know you as a very, very knowledgeable and experienced businesswoman, and are you preparing any contingency or plan or scenario for, what would you do if?
Well, I think for us, as I had mentioned at the beginning, is that we are not yet an established brand. That is, we do not really have the established consumers. So that is a very, very big concern. Henceforth, what I am trying to do now is, well, there are two things. If the lockdown is going to be even more severe, and which probably will be the case, my feeling is that slowly we will see people in a very serious way pushing towards online shopping, or everything online. And that is precisely what is happening, because if you see, there are many high street shops, etc., either they are closing down or they're scaling down. So that is a good point. But if you talk of contingency plan, I'll be very honest, there is not really something that I can do to insulate myself. However, I think this is the time, and it may sound a bit, as let us say, adventurous, is when the drive towards marketing has to be done. To give whatever we have to market, and market with the aim to reach out to the consumer, so that you are able to convert as we go towards, let us say, towards Christmas, towards New Year, etc. It's strange to say that we're in summer and I'm already talking about Christmas and New Year, but I mean to say we cannot lose the focus. So as a business person, my aim would be, don't get bogged down by the fact that sales are not happening. Market, talk, try and reach out. I think that would be, I can't really call this a contingency plan, but I would call this a plan to overcome this hurdle or this strange kind of environment we are all in. There is absolutely no formula to tell us what we should be doing. But I have faith, and I think if we, and as I said, people are as if trying to help each other. I often come to see somebody saying, oh, you know what, I want to buy a hoodie, tell me an SME who's selling it. I don't want to go to the big brands. And as you know, Julia, the thing is, a lot of big brands have taken the flak for what they have done. I'm talking about the fashion industry, because that's the industry I'm involved in. And I think people are getting very, very conscious, because they feel that they need to make a difference. They need to make a difference to the environment. Somewhere they feel that, it was the way we have exploited nature. It is nature's way of saying, give me some time to rest. So I think people are getting more and more conscious, and that's what keeps me going, that people will think about sustainability, people will think about helping small businesses, people will think about buying something which has a value and a story behind it, and not just buy, let me just pick it up, use it for 2 days and, sort of dump it. So these are the things. But to be very honest, there is no foolproof contingency plan for SMEs like ourselves. However, I would like to sort of share my thought with other SMEs if they are listening. And that is, don't let the eyes go off your marketing ball. Reach out to people, talk to people, get to your tribe, hold hands with them, and hope for the best.
Well, that's an excellent message. I hope it will reach a lot of people as well. And you mentioned that there are a lot of people wanting to help, and you mentioned that there are a few things that, SMEs and the artisans in India need help with. So, as one of the new additions to our Lockdown Economy talks, we are asking the guests to share the 3 things they need help with. Or, well, it doesn't have to be 3, but you can mention a few things that you need help with. Maybe somebody who's listening, who's watching, will actually take up the phone and call you and help you with that.
Well, I am definitely looking for somebody, or a specialist to help me increase the organic traffic, because it is organic traffic to my website, because I'm confident that as the traffic increases, there will be conversion, because I'm really very proud of my products, and I am aware that my products make a difference. There are very important social impacts that the product is able to do. So I am definitely looking out for people who can help me with marketing. So A is to get traffic to the site, B, so that the traffic can convert. So in other words, a digital marketer.
Excellent. And anyone else? I remember we spoke about a few other. Do you want to source anyone else in this video, or digital marketing is your priority?
Yes, digital marketing is definitely my priority, and yes, I'm also looking for artisans or people who are working with these products to propose new products to me. We are focusing in accessories, so it is scarves and capes and shawls and bags and belts. So yes, I'm also open to that. So there is the marketing on one side and there is sourcing on the other.
That's excellent. I hope that somebody heard it and somebody will reach out to you, because all the contact details I think can be found either on Shayonti's page, Urban Medley, or it will be under the video, under this video, or under video on YouTube. Anyway, you can find a way around it. I thank you very much, Shayonti, for what you shared today with me and with our listeners, with our viewers, because it's so important that the business owners who are out there trying to make it really share how they're going through this process. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we close?
Well, I just have one thing to say. I mean, I know people are having issues with jobs, etc. So I hope, freelancers out there reach out to small businesses like ourselves, because it's going to be a win-win. Often, small businesses cannot hire or work with established companies, marketing companies, but it would be probably very nice to work on one-on-one with a freelancer. It would be beneficial for both. They keep their business going, and for small businesses like ourselves, we have to pay a bit less. It will be more affordable. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Of course, I agree with you that the collaboration with the freelance, the small business should prosper, should go ahead. And also the students, graduates, if you're looking at this video, if you're watching it, please reach out. At this moment, your best bet to find a good experience is to work with a small business and help them as much as you can. And I want to mention also that Shayonti was one of our business owners, one of our experts on the recent MBA course, Lockdown Economy Challenge, that we did together with the Anáhuac Mayab University, where 3 students were in a team helping Shayonti, or the other way around. Shayonti was helping them.
No, just together. We were working together.
It was a teamwork to address a specific business challenge that is really happening right now. And that was our pilot program. I hope that we can take it to many other universities. So using this opportunity also to promote that. So thank you very much, Shayonti, for everything you shared with us. And thank you to all the listeners and the viewers. And stay tuned for more insights. And see you next week.
Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.